Guys, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling a friend. And thank you for liking and the comments. Special thanks go out to the gentlemen on this channel. Your numbers are growing greatly every single day. Thank you so much, Steven Semakula, for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking, and Grace Semakula, thank you so much. I'm honored that you have considered this channel one of those that you use to add menus to your kitchen. And today we are going to make daddies. In Uganda we call them daddies. Those of you who are not in Uganda, these are normally snacks that are made, and children when they are going back to school, boarding schools in Uganda use them a lot. They are normally made as snacks, and some of the ingredients we are going to use today are not used in making of these daddies because they want them to last longer. So instead of adding preservatives, they skip some of the ingredients we are going to use today and substitute them for something else, as you're going to see, so as to make them. But we are going to make them now that they are in holiday, snacks that they can enjoy, and they don't have to last for a month. These ones can last for a week without preservatives. About 3 days, that is good enough. So that's what we are going to make today. They are made out of flour, and they are easy bites, really. They are normally tough as they take them to school, but the way we are going to make them will just give them a nice golden color and make them easy for you to eat and enjoy while watching a movie or having visitors over, say like in the evening. Yeah, these are one of those things that we are going to make. So come and see how we do the daddies that we call them in Uganda, and hope you enjoy. Now what is going to help us make daddies is flour. I've used 3 cups of flour, which I'll put in a bowl. It is always good to sift our flour just in case there are any impurities, so that our pastries or whatever it is we are making is clean. So I'm going to use flour. I'm going to also use some margarine. If you have butter, you can go ahead and use butter. I'm going to use 2 eggs. The reason I'm using 2 eggs is because my eggs are small. Otherwise, if you have big eggs, just 1 egg is good enough. I'm also going to use baking powder and some cinnamon. Cinnamon will help with the spicing of daddies. And I'm also going to use some milk. Now, when people are going to boarding schools in Uganda, they normally do not use milk to make these daddies. Why? Because milk would cause them to go bad quickly, and they want them to last for maybe a month. So what they do is they add water. So if you want to use them if you want to learn them and make them for school, you will have to add water instead of milk. And then I'm going to use some sugar also. This is brown sugar, as you can see. Now I'll start off by adding my flour with the sugar. This is half a cup of sugar because I don't want mine too sweet. And then I'm going to add my baking powder and cinnamon together. Now that is it for the dry ingredients. That's it for the dry ingredients. So I'll try and mix them together and make sure they are well blended before adding in the wet ingredients. Guys, these are things you can snack on over the holidays. Say like kids are at home and you're wondering what is it that I can make so that they can enjoy as they go about maybe watching a movie, or breakfast with a cup of tea, or in the evening with a glass of juice when you have people over. These are it. As long as you don't make them so hard, you can enjoy them easily. We normally leave them to kids because they are quite tough and the kids come off as those with tough teeth. But we can make them softer and be enjoyable to just about any age. Now I've finished mixing my dry ingredients. So now I'm going to make a hole in the middle for the wet ingredients. I'll get a clean bowl for the eggs. Normally it's better to beat our eggs in a separate bowl just in case you beat your eggs and the shells fall in. That way you don't have to go fishing for the shells. It is easy to scoop them out as and when you break your egg. And after you've beaten your eggs, then you can whisk and introduce them to the dry ingredients. I'm using my small spatula. You can go ahead and use a whisker, a fork, anything that could easily get your eggs whisked. That is good. Now I'll set my eggs on the side and work with the dry ingredients with the butter. I'm going to use, this is about 250. Now I'm going to add some butter in my dry ingredients. This will be 125 grams of butter or margarine. In my case, this is margarine. You guys can go ahead and use the same or use butter if that's what you have. Either way, you will enjoy them. Now, normally when they are making them for school-going children, they don't use butter, they use oil, or they don't use margarine. They use a little bit of oil and very minimal, because the lesser the ingredients, the tougher they come out as and the longer they last. But because we are at home and we are making them for home consumption, which is just about 2 days, I'm using margarine to help me make these daddies, as we call them. I'll get my hands into this and I'll use the flour to scoop off the remaining margarine off my spatula. These are very easy to make, guys, and you will have yourself a snack in no time. Now, once you've mixed the margarine into your flour and there is no trace of it just being by itself, you can bring in the eggs and milk, as you're going to see. So if you find these more tasty, yeah, it's because you made them at home and you use these ingredients. The ones they sell are normally meant for school going, meant to last long, and so the ingredients in there are not as many, and that is all to keep them lasting longer than the period intended for these ones. Because these ones can only go for about 3 days or 4 tops, and they would go bad because of the milk, the butter or margarine, and eggs. The other ones don't have eggs, they don't have milk, and they don't have butter. They have water and a little bit of oil, and that's it. So once my margarine is all mixed up, I will add the eggs. These are 2 eggs, but ideally it would be 1 egg because my eggs are small. I'm using 2. And I'll go ahead and mix still this one as well, and then add the milk. I'll add the milk and mix. Careful not to over mix it, lest it can't hold, or it's too soft and it's hard to roll out, or it's too hard and it does not come out very well. These ones, guys, will be special, different from the ones you're used to, simply because of the ingredients we've used. And for those of you who have never made these ones at home or heard of anything called daddies like we call it in Uganda, you are welcome. This is how we make them, Ugandan style. Now guys, you need until it doesn't stick on your hands and the bowl is clean. It has to be clean, a clear sign that your dough is ready for the next stage. As you can see, my hands are getting better and the bowl is dry and clean. That is one sign, sure sign that my daddies are getting ready. Now, time for me to get out my rolling pin and the board, and then we start rolling to make our daddies. As you can see, my hands are cleaner and my bowl is clean, so that means my dough is ready for use. Now I'm going to start kneading. You'll get your dough and tear off some chunk and roll it out. After rolling it out, you need somewhere clean and dry where you're going to put the finished daddies that you're going to fry after this. Now, because I put some baking powder in there, I expect my daddies to raise up a bit. So I'll not put them so thick they come out as something else. I'm going to cut them thin so that they come out small, squared way. Remember, these are bites, good for movie watching, evening treats or snacks. Yeah, or breakfast snacks. So once I'm done rolling, I will powder my tray just slightly so that they don't stick. And once I've done this, I'll remove the excess flour because I don't want it sticking to my daddies and causing them to bring a lot of foam on my oil. And then it's time for me to slice up my daddies to the size that they are supposed to be. Now guys, here you don't have to use a special measuring rod or anything. You just cut up small long things and then go about them again until you get those small squares that are easy to eat. I'll show you when I'm done how mine will look. While you're cutting these up, if you're fast enough, you can heat up your oil, but if you're not fast, you can just finish the cutting up or sizing up of your daddies, and then you get the oil heated, ready for the frying of your daddies. As you can see, this is very easy and quick. And before you know it, you've got yourself some snacks at home that would last you for some time. If you're not having company, or if you have kids at home on holiday, they would have something to bite on as the meals get ready, or as breakfast is coming up, or even during breakfast. As you can see, this doesn't take up a lot of time. It is quick and easy. Now I've put on my pan on fire and some bit of oil because I need my daddies to submerge. Now because I need them to submerge, this is why I've put reasonably more oil. I use the word daddies, but as you have seen, these are like they are made out of dough, sugar and milk. That's how we call them in Uganda. You can come up with a name for them in Philippines, in Indonesia, in German, or in South Africa, Nigeria, America, or UK. You can come up with any name for this, but in Uganda we call them daddies. So if you ever hear someone say, I'm going to buy daddies, you just know they are talking about these sweet bites that we normally enjoy in Uganda or pack for our children when they are going back to school, regardless of age. These ones are packed normally for those going to the boarding section as snacks that will last them some time before the visiting day comes for the parents to come and bring them something else. It's just that I've added extra things just to make them easier to take at home. Now I'll put my skew in. If the bubbles come around the skew, it shows my oil is ready, but if they don't, then it needs some time to heat. For those of you who have temperatures, kudos to you. I don't have it here, so I'm using this. Who have thermometers? Now my oil is ready and I can put my daddies. Put them too early, it would mean they would absorb oil and be too oily. Put them late, they may burn before they are ready. So the timing has got to be right. And locally speaking, you would use a skew, or for those of you who know how to gauge the temperatures, you can use your hand and run it over just to gauge that it is hot enough and ready to fry. My daddies are floating on top. I'm not going to disturb them until I see that golden color. Guys, you need to go putting one by one so that they don't get stuck to each other. So you need to gain some speed doing it, and that way they all brown at the same time. So you put as many as you can so that your rounds of frying are not many. As long as the pan is not too full, you go ahead and add. You know, all the gaps and spaces that you can see in on your tray, on your pan. When they are ready, they are a golden brown color. That's a color that is good and ready to enjoy as long as they are chilled. So I think this will do for now. Time for me to stir and see how they are doing. The first ones have been there for some time, but they don't take long, because as you can see, the size of these daddies is this, so they don't take long getting ready. I'll stop for now and try and stir the first ones and keep them from burning. These are delicious, guys. Especially I've added cinnamon. They smell nice and taste nice. So you can go easy on the sugar for those of you who are sugar cautious. We don't need to put a lot. I've used 3 cups of flour and half a cup of sugar. I think that is minimal sugar, and it will be good and tasty for all of us. So you can have it with tea or juice or whatever it is that you normally have in the evening or in the morning. These are very easy to make, guys. So don't shy away from them. Add them to your menu and you will always have something to bite through at home. time of preparation is about 10 minutes, and that is including the time of frying as well. So as you can see, they are easy to make, they are cheap, and they take a shorter time to prepare. I want you to see how they are browning. The reason I'm stirring is I don't want them to blacken, especially those that went in early. I don't want them to blacken. I want them to be a nice color. As long as they are a light brown, that is not yet good enough. I want them a bit darker. That way they can last longer and taste good and ready. Now my daddies are ready and time for me to take them out. I will tell you for sure, I don't know why we call them daddies, but these guys are called daddies. I'm suspecting fathers used to come back or come to school and visit children with these, and someone thought of them being called daddies. Other than that, I have no clue why we call them that. They are nice bites that you can have anytime, but the name for them in Uganda is daddies. So if you're ever in Uganda and someone says, I want to buy daddies, or I've just got daddies, these are the ones, guys. It's not like they are into buying fathers. No, it's these guys. So I'm going to show you how they look when they are done. Otherwise, the way you see them is how they should look when they are ready. Now guys, our daddies are ready for serving. They are not as hard they would actually be for those going to school. As you can see, they are this soft. You can easily crush them. They are crunchy and sweet, tasty, guys. So that's how they would be. But if you're going to school, they are not looking at the softness. They are looking at them being long lasting. So they would be hard because they are made out of water. And this is how I would plate them after that. That's how I would plate them, whether with a glass of milk or a glass of juice. There you have it, guys. Until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and telling friends. God bless. And for those of you who are just passing through, thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Bye bye and God bless.